Today I'm working on a 2014 Acura ILX. This one was in an accident. The driver's wheel airbag deployed and the driver's seat belt deployed. So I got the wheel airbag replaced and the seat belt replaced as well. I know it's not the best condition, but I had a parts car and this is what was in it. The chrome is peeling off of it. Either way, got it replaced and airbag light is on, so the module will need to be reset. Before we do that, right there I got the VCI connected. Let's run a quick diagnosis on it. See what the codes say. There's the two codes. So the first code is basically because there was nobody sitting in the seat during the accident. The airbag module did not deploy that, the passenger dash airbag. So now, as you can see, the passenger airbag light is flashing like that, which usually means there's an issue. And yeah, and the second code is probably just a history code. We'll see if that remains after we go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and pull out the airbag module right now. I'll show you where it's at and reset it, put it back in, and then see if that second code will remain. If it does, then likely the technician that installed the belt either didn't connect it all the way or it's a bad connection or something. I guess we'll see. And then let's just go ahead and, I'll show you that these codes are not clearable. Right there, clear fail. And yeah, there's really nothing else you see here. This module obviously needs to be reset. Most makes and models do need to be reset. There's a few German models that do not. So we're going to go ahead and get this module removed. And I'll start digging into this center console and I'll kind of show you the steps. Alright, this is all the tools you need to get this job done. I used my scan tool, a 1/4-inch socket driver, 1/4-inch ratcheting wrench for the bit to remove the module, a stubby screwdriver for the shift knob, 8mm and 10mm for the battery. Alright, so first thing you need to do is remove this shift knob. This one's a little bit tricky. You kind of have to know, you can't just, some of these you just pull down and it just clips off, but here there's actually two tabs right under here. You just kind of push them and pull at the same time. So basically what you're pushing is these little tabs. So right there, see, you can't pull it down. And then these little tabs right on the sides. Just, it's a little easier with two hands, but I managed with one. And then push on the brake. I got the ignition on. Put the shifter back, and there's a Phillips screw right there. There's two screws here. To get to that second screw, you have to remove this deal. It goes right over here. So to pull this thing off, I used a pick. I just went in there and just kind of worked it up until it just popped out. It didn't break or anything. Just 2 clips right there. Just carefully work it out and it should be fine. Alright, now that the screws are removed, the knob just pops out. And then this center deal, you don't have to use pry tools, just kind of grab it, get a good firm grab on it right here, and it just pops out. And just kind of work it up like that. And then there's those connectors underneath, a couple here, at least one there. I'm gonna get those unplugged. Yep, just 3 connectors, 1 and 2 for the heated seats. Right now, you gotta pull out this little mat, and then there's 2, looks like 8mm screws right there, and get those pulled out. All right, I got those 2 screws removed. Now I need to remove these 2, and I already removed that one as well. Just get a drill. Alright, those are removed. And then pretty sure we're gonna have to pop this out just so we could clear the e-brake. Alright, looks like there's some stuff here holding it, so I'm gonna just see. Wow, what's all this? This car was kind of trashed, so that obviously somebody spilt something on there. So I'm gonna get that stuff unplugged right here so I could remove the console and just make it a lot easier to get the module. Alright, so the harness, this harness right here, this is on the center console, was hooked up down there. That was the only thing left holding it. Unplugged it and it popped right out. So I'm going to get this thing out of the way. Alright, so the module is located right there. This is the part where you disconnect the battery. I'm going to go ahead and get that done. Never do this with the module connected, or with the battery connected. Always make sure the battery gets disconnected. We had instances where we were set a module for a guy actually here locally. It was a 2017 Honda CR-V, and he couldn't disconnect this harness on the spot, so what he did was he unbolted the module and pulled out the harness out here, which was fine, you know, if he disconnected it and then we reset the module and then he plugged it back in and, you know, with the battery off, and then put it back in, bolted it in, connected the battery and started the car, that would have been fine. But what he did was he plugged it in, turned the, and it was right here on the floorboard. He plugged it in, turned the ignition on, everything was fine, and he goes to drive it and his curtain airbags blew. So basically what happened was, he said when he went from gas to brake, or the other way around, he kicked the module, and that basically, it detected a rollover accident and it blew the curtain airbags and both seat belts. So always disconnect the battery. Alright, so I got the battery disconnected and I'm here on the passenger side. You can see here's like a little Velcro deal where you can get this carpet out of the way. And then to disconnect it, there's 2 plugs, and I'm gonna have to disconnect it and then kind of show you how it works. I could pull out this harness. So you have to push down on this tab right here, and that releases this latch mechanism. Yeah, I actually managed to get my hand in through the top here and push on the latch, and then use this pick to pull on it, and yeah, fairly easy. Took a few seconds per plug. Now I got 2 bolts on this side and 2 bolts on that side. These are never fun. I'm gonna go get my torque set. That set makes it quite easy to get this module out of there. Alright, so I went over to this side and I noticed this bracket is in the way, so I went ahead and popped off this nut, used my drill, and then I took this bolt out that holds the bracket down to the floor. So I'm just gonna work it out of there. Alright, there it is. To get the bolt off, I used a 10mm gear wrench, and I just through this hole, kind of pushed down through this and just loosened it out, and this is just going to make things a lot easier. Right there, there's the bolt. Alright, so to get these bolts off, to get these bolts off of the airbag module, you're going to need a T30 torque and a 1/4 inch drive bit driver ratcheting wrench, basically the one that just slips in there. It's magnetic. It's designed for bits. You could get this from Lowe's. As you can see, it's Cobalt brand, or you could get it on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. And this is pretty much the only way to take these Honda Acura modules off. Everything else I've done is just torture. So I'm gonna go, or I already pulled 1 bolt off. I'll get the other 2 bolts removed right now, and we'll go from there. Alright, I got these 2 bolts removed as well. It took maybe like 3 minutes for all 3 bolts. So very easy with this tool. I don't know if somebody has a better way or a better tool. I'd love to know, but so far this is the best method I have found. And I've pulled out a lot of Honda airbag modules, Honda and Acura. So now I think the module comes out from the driver's side because it looks a little too snug here. So I'm going to go ahead and go around there, and I think that's another reason why we did have to remove that little bracket either way. So I'm going to go back around there. I might need both hands for this. Why is that stud sticking out? Pull it out, and then I'll kind of explain the angle. Alright, so I pulled it out at kind of like this angle because those wires are you know, flexible. So pulled it out at this angle. As you can see, the stud is right there. And now that I think about it, a lot of times when I received these Honda modules, I saw dents in this back plate, bottom plate, and that's probably, you know, from that stud. I would see, like, you know, gashes in here where people really forced it through. I kind of managed to get the right angle and I just scratched it right there. But yeah, I've seen several dozen of these modules and they would always be dented right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this module reset and then get it reinstalled and put back together, and then we'll see what fault codes remain. Hopefully the seat belt is all properly connected and we don't have to mess with it. But if it's not a big deal. Alright, I got everything reconnected and put back together. No more light. Let's check for codes. No fault codes detected. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. I'll have links to the tools in the description below, and I'll have a link to our website on for the reset service. Check us out. Thanks for watching.